you wanted.
Give you a couple
A
minutes.
snack.
We'll give you a couple pieces. I need to reorganize my fridge there. Oh, out of order.
You gonna take it from me? You hold it?
Is that Zachary?
Where? No, wait, no, Sean, that is not our record. Don't get your hopes up. So yeah, being unable to be able to see because she's missing the C cell in her eye that gives her that shape and image. Everything they see is just big objects.
Saying it'd probably be yummy.
Yes, and so that's what makes them such a prey animal, because by the time anything got close enough for them to know that that was danger,
Yeah.
too far gone.
Is that a snack?
So they use their sense of smell and their hearing for everything, which makes it's heightened by multitudes. You see, because they don't rely on their vision. One reason why they stay so high in the trees is because a lot of animals can't get there. They feel safer higher in trees to be able to protect themselves. They can also, because even though she feels pretty heavy, they are in the wild fairly light and can maneuver out to the smallest branches to where most animals can't. And that keeps them safe. They don't move much at all. They sleep 85% of the day. 95% of their life is upside down. So upside down to them is normal to us.
Hmm. Is that what the hanging things are under the?
It is, yeah.
I thought it might be.
Well, under there, the
Under the
pavilion
bed.
is for the monkey.
Oh, you do got a monkey?
Yeah, we have a spider monkey.
Okay. I thought maybe you let the sloths hang out there. So.
No, but they have been outside in those, the cages in the petting farm and stuff to hang. And then they have an outside enclosure attached to their rooms. Now Zoe here is what I call a belly baby. She does not like to hang upside down.
You don't want that?
Say, I would rather be snuggling and hugging people.
Well, that's my kind of sloth right
Say, so I really like my hammock.
there. Yeah. You can't eat my fingers. I'll hold your hand, but you can't eat my fingers.
And so for them to eat, she does eat twice a day. We hand feed in the morning. She can eat throughout the day. We just offer vegetables, but at nighttime she definitely gets her spinach and more vegetables. But we have a rotating feeder, so they have to go and get their own food. So they still have to learn how to feed themselves, just in case. You never know if a day might get skipped or something may happen. But we try to keep it as natural as possible for a sloth. That's why we keep the temperatures nice and toasty,
Yeah.
keep the humidity high. And of course, you can see she's nice and pretty and blonde, but in the wild, that's not the case. In the wild, they are icky and green, you're right. Bacteria and algae and stuff grow on them because they stay so still that things have time to live. Yeah, things have time to grow. Obviously, it's not the case here. They're not exposed to that. But in the wild, they actually rely on that ecosystem to live on their fur so that they can help with their own digestive and gut bacteria.
Oh, okay.
And so when they groom themselves, they'll get some of that nutrient from the insects. And that helps with the gut bacteria, which helps to process everything. Because their metabolism is so slow, it's almost in reverse.
Oh, wow.
It can take up to 30 days for them to digest a leaf of spinach.
Oh, my goodness.
They're not water drinkers. They do have water offered, but they don't prefer to drink water. They can get it from the vegetables that they eat. They do love fruit, but we don't offer a lot of fruit because of the sugar content in them. Oh, you're gonna go to sleep, sweet girl.
You're gonna go to sleep on me. I have that effect on babies too. Okay. Don't bite my hand. You can hold my hand if you find my hand.
Hey, Tatum, are you busy at the moment?
Yes, I'm in a sloth encounter. Turn that down, my bad.
He said that this goes live. Is it like, I can find it later?
Yes, absolutely. So you can find it later and it'll show you and you'll get to see it yourself.
I'll share you with my friends.
Yeah, absolutely. Just follow us under our page and it'll be on there live. It's my food. Don't find my food.
You say I gotta sloth on my shirt? Huh? Did you see the sloth on my shirt? That's
So sloths are actually better swimmers than they are crawlers.
really.
Yes, so they, if they needed to transfer from one spot to the next, they prefer by water. They don't leisurely swim. But water, they're a lot quicker in water. Okay, she won't touch your belly, silly goodness. What you reaching for?
You're just trying to trick me, huh? You're just trying to trick me. You want me to hang out of my shirt? No? Okay,
As you can see, she's showing her teeth.
no.
Those 4 teeth are very sharp and they stay sharp at all times. Every time she opens and closes her mouth, they're placed so that they rub against each other to stay sharpened at all
Well,
times.
that's smart. That's kind of cool. I mean, of all the cool stories to have, I could say I got bit by a sloth, but let's not do that. Let's not do that. I don't want to have to leave early because you bit me. Yeah. I just snuggle instead.
So sloth hair is the only hair on an animal that grows backwards. It's upside down. It goes from belly to back instead of back to belly. And that's because they are upside down 95% of their life. So therefore, anytime it rains, when it rains, the water will run off of them as opposed to being stuck and puddled up on their bellies.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. Oh, okay, now we're gonna take a nap. Okay. That works, yes.
You sweet girl. You finally give up. I got woke up from my nap, so what else was I supposed to do? Yeah, it's okay. See, I'd rather be hugging. Wouldn't you, Miss Zoe? You'd much rather be hugging. Oh. She's not gonna get you.
She's just trying her best to
Are you that hungry, sweet girl? You shouldn't be. But hey, you're a growing girl, aren't you?
Oh, she's gonna get you another snack.
See if you'll want any of your spinach.
What's the spinach? I don't like spinach.
I like it fresh, not good.
Yeah. Oh, what is that?
Look at you laying that. You want to try some spinach? She's usually picky. And her and Flash both will typically wait till nighttime to eat their spinach. They prefer not to eat the spinach. Just like a kid.
No. I don't want it. Here. You want that? Nope, I want a bunch of wheat. Nope,
Spinach is your only option right now, sweet girl.
that's all you get.
You're a mess. So as you can see, she's twisting. So a three-toed sloth actually has a small tail, as the word two-toeds don't, and they have that extra vertebrae. And so there's a gap between their upper ribs and their lower that helps them to twist completely from one, their upper half will be facing one direction and the lower faces the opposite.
Oh, wow.
What are you doing? Are you going to throw your food, girl? Are you going to throw your food? You can't do that. Are you playing with it?
I got your husband all set up out there. He's watching.
Thank you.
And so they have 21 sets of beds.
Wow.
Yeah, so they have a lot of cage going on there.
You've got lots of it. There you go. You got it. You got
And
it.
that helps to protect them. They can withstand a 100-foot drop. If something, whatever occurrence causes them to fall. They're very isolated animals. So they like to stay by themselves.
Yum. Good stuff.
And Zoe is what we would call an ambassador animal, which means she was bred and raised in captivity for generations on end. Therefore, she is completely people friendly. From one generation to the next, they start out really early on teaching them that it's okay, and then they get used to being held by people.
Here, let's keep
There you go, big eyes. Such a good girl. She has a big personality, that's for sure. Yeah, she's behind you. She's just hiding out back there. And when sloths are babies, when mama delivers, she's upside down, baby's born upside down. And then the baby will stay on mama's belly and only nurses for about anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks.
Oh, wow.
But within a couple days, the baby is already eating leaves and stuff from the trees. When they're babies, they're super, super dark. They're really brown.
Yeah.
And that just helps to blend in with the bellies of the sloths. And so they're pretty camouflaged in the wild for sure.
I'm just letting you know, because I'm getting ready to go. The 2:30, they're using the bathroom. I told them to wash their hands and just stay in the barn.
Awesome, thank you much.
I want to come back and do the keeper for a day.
Oh, cool, yeah, we had that earlier today. We had somebody doing the keeper today. Yep, so I'm just content. So it just took me a minute. I was just seeing what I could get away with.
I wanted to take my fingers home with me.
Where are you guys in from?
Knoxville.
Well, that's not far.
It was about an hour and a half maybe.
Yeah, and y'all come at 411 or 75?
What you said, it's not. Yeah. And then when it put us on 411, I went, oh,
Yeah.
oh well. That's okay. How's that spinach back here?
So in order to keep a sloth healthy, they need hot temperatures and less stress. They're very high stressors. So they don't do well with change. They're very habitual, very routine animals. So like even with their potty schedule, they'll go down a tree. And it's not typically the tree that they stay in. It's off to the side. But they'll go down a tree, the same tree, same side of a tree. And even though it's very routine and the same thing, they're still going to sniff it to make sure that that's their path.
Huh.
And so change, you have to slowly transition for them to adapt. But even with the eating habits, like she's not a fan of green beans, but Flash is.
Oh.
And it's just interesting how they're picky about their foods.
Huh. That's weird.
Yeah.
I have a dog that doesn't like peanut butter. And I'm like, what? Never met a dog that doesn't like peanut butter. But he likes squeeze cheese. So
Oh,
that's
yeah.
really distracting with
Yeah.
shots and stuff.
That's what I've seen a vet do before.
Yeah. They try to give him peanut butter and he's like, no.
Yeah. You can give me peanut butter also still. I love peanut butter.
My other dog likes it. But not the buddy.
And so here in the evening, she gets spinach as her main diet. And then in the morning, she'll get sweet potato, zucchini, squash. And then we haven't really introduced carrots, but we will. Now, they all love bananas, obviously, because of the sugar content. They're sweet.
Yeah.
But that's a treat, and we will introduce her to our older guy, Flash, likes boiled eggs. And so we'll introduce that because that's odd, but you know, they need protein as well. And that's a good source of protein is through the boiled eggs. Because if they were in the wild, they could come across them if they needed. They could eat little bird eggs and stuff like that, or little small lizards, if need be.
I mean, pet there, is that what you're saying? Is that what that was? Just right up there.
goes through. You can have all the spinach you want, my love.
Hey, let's look at
Yeah. You can eat all the spinach you like, my dear. So as you can see, their nails are infused, it actually goes into the bone. And when they have their hands closed, that's a very relaxed state to them. So when they're hanging, that's okay. You know, it would wear us out because we're having to use our muscles and tendons. But when they close their hands, they're not, just like if we were opening our hands. And so they're very relaxed when they're hanging on to things. The palms of their hands are very, very sensitive because they rely on it. That's what they grip a hold of the trees and stuff with, so they rely on that. That's why they're super sensitive if you touch the palms of their hands. And they can hold all of their body weight on one limb.
wow.
You don't want that? You're gonna hunker down, girl. And they can get up to 20 pounds.
Oh, wow.
20 pounds. And when they use the restroom, they lose 10% of their body weight.
Oh, wow.
So she loses a couple pounds, or a third of their body weight. They eat about 10% of their body weight daily. And of course, in captivity, they adapt to eating more. In the wild, they don't eat as often.
How did they not does she not like, do y'all give them like green peppers and,
We introduce different things. We just know certain ones that aren't too acidic.
okay.
And then just because, like I said, they're such high stressors, and to mess up their gut bacteria, it's so hard to get it back on track. Because they don't have that bacteria to help replenish it. So we try to do as much as possible to not mess with it. But they love, like we'll introduce different, spinach is her favorite. She likes romaine as well. Hibiscus plants and flowers are their favorite treat.
Oh.
But that's hard to keep.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'd say those don't last long.
yeah. Cucumbers, I absolutely love cucumbers. They have a really good water content, but you have to be careful not to get too much because it's too much water. But they do love cucumbers as well. Okay, little Woo, are you going to eat today? You're going to eat, sweet girl. You want back in your pouch? Oh, you want back in your pouch? Atta girl. Good girl. Atta girl. Back in your pouch. Let's see if we get your bottle since you're in the pouch. She's enjoying. I look what I got you. Look, I help you. I help you get your head out. I help you get your head out.
Where's my mama?
So at 7 months, you can pull a baby kangaroo from its mom and bottle feed it so that it becomes people friendly.
Is that the only kangaroo you know?
Oh no, we have her 2 in a stall, 6 out in the field,
Oh, wow.
and one of the females in the field has a joey in her pouch.
Okay.
So once they get about 18 months old, we put them out in the field. Then we have 2 males, but one's been fixed, because you can only have 1 male for so many females. The females get along pretty good. And we bottle feed. You can bottle feed for up to 2 years if you wanted. You don't have to. After a year, kangaroos are done with mama and eating milk, but it doesn't hurt them to have it afterwards. It's just not their main nutritional meal. They get fresh vegetables and stuff and kangaroo feed. And Timothy hay, see, they love Timothy hay. But because she's still young, they still pouch up to about 9.5, 10 months old. And so we have to provide a pouch that makes them feel like, secure. In about another month, she'll go in and out of the pouch on her own. It won't require us helping her in and out, because she'll stay in her pouch until we let her out. So we pouch and then we just hang her up on the wall. And close enough to the ground, if she got out, it was okay. So Zoe is heavy, and I could tell by picking her up, so she's probably close to her potty day. And she is so much lighter, it's so funny, because she'll lose about 3 pounds.
Oh, wow.
But she's super clingy on those days too. Oh, that baby, really good girl. You just wanted in your mouth, didn't you?
I'll hang you up right there. I'll hang you up right there. Oh, you know, you think you trapped me, huh? Think you got me good? No, I'm not getting my fingers. I mean, that would be a cool souvenir and all, but. That'll work for you. Does that work for you?
You wanna play with it, silly girl? So they will use their tongues typically, as you can see. She's got a hold of it, but unless it's large enough, it's very awkward for them to do hand and mouth coordination there. So they'll usually, especially with their food dishes, use their tongues to pull the food and then just assist with their hands.
There you go. Say hello. Great stuff.
You stopped, didn't you, girl? You stopped, baby.
Oh, you're so precious. No, don't buy my arm. Don't buy my arm. There we go.
You can go back to sleep to your room. So they will not, if we transition or if she's moving, she will not let go of one object to the next until she feels absolutely secure. So it's really interesting because they'll keep either a foot or a hand attached
Oh, yeah?
until they feel super secure with all 3 limbs. And they have insane core strength.
That's much more comfortable for you instead of being over.
And we'll check on my pupil real quick.
What she do, I haven't been her up. She was
Oh, I think she knows. I think she knows. She definitely knows. We tell people all the time, you can take all the slothies you want. She has big personality. When we first got her, she was with Donna a lot and was able to be held and just in the center of everything. And so she's used to it. find out about us?
I was Googling trying to find a place for the sloth.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to find a place that would let me pull a sloth. We go to, Emerald Coast down in Pensacola.
Yeah.
Or Crestview. But you don't hold the ones there because they don't know how much they were.
Right.
Handled and stuff. So I was like, oh, I gotta find a place to hold one. And I was trying to find, somebody had told me about a place near Nashville. So I'm like Googling, and then this came up, I was like, well, that's a whole lot closer.
Right,
So-
yeah, yeah. Well, that's like with Flash, we don't hold Flash because he wasn't used to that.
Yeah,
When we got him at 3, he had not been handled, and we didn't want to try to change,
yeah.
because, once again, you don't want to stress him out. So, but our baby Zoe and little Dash, from birth, have been taught to be held.
Yeah, they said that they're hoping that, Mozzie and Fiona will breed so that they can have one.
Well, that's cool, yeah.
But they haven't been successful yet, so.
Yeah. Can you tell her thank you, Miss Zoe, huh? Yeah, she gave you all kinds of treats. Yeah, Miss Girl. Hey, you. You ready for big hugs? No big hugs? Oh. Yeah, you're a sweet girl. No big hugs. Big hugs. Hugs. You gotta hug to get lovins. That's it. There we go. Big hugs. And you gotta let go of them. The guest. Yes, my dear. Yes, my dear.
Okay, fine.
You're such a big girl. You're so yes. You're almost too big for me to even wrap my arms around, my dear. Yes, you
It was good to meet
are.
you, Zoe. Yes, it was. It was good to meet you.
Thank you for so much for seeking us out and coming and seeing us.
Thank you for letting me smack them.
Oh, absolutely. You guys ready? We're gonna go right on in here.
Oh my gosh.
If you need anything, just holler or knock on the door. I can help you with that. Hey guys, so you guys can take all the pictures and videos you like. Let me turn, y'all okay with being on media?
Yeah.
Right, let me turn that around.
Scan. There's a lot
So
more.
this is baby Zoe. We still call her baby, but she's almost 2 years old. Her birthday's in December. Yes, I'm a year and a half. But she was originally our baby. So she likes to be held, and if you put your arm up under her, it makes her to come up higher to hug. And then she just likes soft, gentle pets. She don't like scratching of the nails. She's not like a puppy dog. And she don't like her face messed with, and she'll tell you. So if you're up here and she don't like it, she's gonna reach and kind of swat your way. If she starts to try to nibble on you, we just pull away or make a fist so that she doesn't know to do that, because she doesn't know the difference between your finger and a carrot. Because it's just, they can't see. So, so they're just exploring to try to see. She will wrap around you, and if her nails at all bother you, just tap, and it makes her move them. So we make her move her hands. It doesn't hurt her at all. Hey, you have a new friend. Are you ready to see your friend? Yeah, you ready to see your new friend? There we go. There you go. So this is Zoe. Zoe's our little girl.
She is much more active and curious than I would have thought of a sloth would be.
Yes, she is. But then again, she is adapting to her surroundings. A wild sloth would definitely not be doing this.
Gotcha.
A wild sloth is more solitude, docile, still, has no desire to move.
That's for stealthy.
Yeah, it is your stuffy, you're right. So Zoe is what we call a two-toed sloth, and you can tell that by her front toes. On the back, all sloths have 3 toes. So Zoe is two-toed. The anatomy's pretty much the same. Two-toes are a little larger. Do you smell that, girl? Also with a two-toed sloth, they have a little bit extra vertebrae in their section, midsection, so that they're more flexible. as opposed to the three-toed sloths. What do you
I
mean?
have a question. So we have a family up there of 4 saying that they have a 230 farm tour. I checked the POD. There's a group of 5 and a group of 3.
Oh.
And nobody else has
Did you
showed
check
up.
the
and
calendar
it's-
part?
No.
Check the calendar part and see if there's a 4 in there. Do you not look at the calendar part?
Yes, ma'am.
So her Snuggie there is what we usually would use to transfer her from one person to the next. And she may be a little snacky, so we can give her a few little sticks of veggies there, her main diet. So sloths have the inability to see well. They have really, really poor vision. They're missing the C cell in their eyes that helps us, anyone to have shape, dimension, or color. And so,
She's going after your room.
yeah, would you chill out? Would you chill out? You want some food? You want some food? You gotta relax. I always think she's more active out here in the kitchen than she is in her room. So with the inability to be able to see like that, she relies on her sense of smell and her hearing for everything. And like you said, in the wild, they are much more slow, nowhere near as active. Their digestive system is super, super slow, so slow that it can take a month for a leaf of spinach to digest.
So how often does she eat? Like you?
She will eat twice a day, every day. She can snack throughout the day. As long as she's hungry, we're fine with that.
I figured it out. It's just the first name that shows up, not the last name.
Oh, okay.
And they told me the last name, but they still only had 4 people, and they booked for 5.
Just ask them, say, what happened to the 5th, but I mean, there's nothing to do with that, really.
Okay, and then what if the 3 people show up? Because they have a pony ride, but Tinkerbell was above this trip, and the restaurant didn't see it, and then he probably just got busy.
Did we get rarity in? Okay, so you can always swap to rarity if it seems like it's hurting the pony to walk on it.
See, we're gonna ask Sean and see like what he thought.
Radio him. Because if he doesn't answer by radio, he's got enough other people that's gonna be like, you need to answer.
Okay.
Yeah. Good girl. You got some sweet potato now, huh?
Is she the only sloth that gets?
We have 3 total. So they eat twice a day. In the morning, we hand feed all of our sloths. In the evenings, they have to get their own food. They have food dishes, and they're in the walls, and they have to come across their room and feed themselves. That just helps to keep the natural instinct of how to eat, how to feed yourself. Interesting fact about a sloth is when they're upside down, anybody can eat upside down. It's just the problem is everything that we have will come back.
Okay.
Their system is designed to be one way in, one way out.
Okay.
So that helps them to keep food in and to eat upside down like that. Now, obviously, you can tell Zoe here, I call her belly baby because she'd rather be upright. She has been taught from birth how to be held, and she's perfectly fine with it, perfectly comfortable. If she wasn't comfortable, then we wouldn't be doing it. We try to let the sloths still their natural things. What makes them comfortable. Sloths are very high stressors, so we try to keep them as calm as possible. That's why we only allow 2 hours out of the day for each sloth to be messed with. That way they spend more of their time, you gotta chew it, silly girl. More of their time resting and being like a sloth. They sleep 85% of the day.
I am going to order something.
Right. So you guys have a full 30 minutes, and we can do the split in half, or y'all can go back and forth. It's up to you.
Okay. So it's mostly for her. She really wanted to do a sloth.
Well, that's awesome.
But
How'd y'all hear about us?
I think TikTok.
Through TikTok?
I saw it, yeah.
Yeah, where y'all from?
Murfreesboro.
Oh, okay. It's a decent little drive, but not so pleasant interstate drive.
We were in, Helen, Georgia.
Oh, that's
So we're
fun.
on our
That's
way.
awesome. That's cool.
We need the computer. It's still my hand. It's still my hand. Honey, no.
She's super curious when she's out in the kitchen. Say all these smells and stuff. No nibbles, girl. No nibbles. So as you can see, she's super flexible. So they have 21 sets of ribs. So they're like, to me, it's like having a complete basket right there that protects them. In the middle between the upper and the lower, there's a little bit of a gap. So her complete upper body can be in one direction, opposite of the bottom half.
yeah.
You want your Snuggie, huh? You being curious? They are super strong. They can hold all of their body weight on one limb and hang on some of the smallest areas. Like ours come out and they're just barely hanging on that door trim right there.
What does she weigh?
She weighs probably going on about 14 pounds now. So they use the restroom once every 7 to 10 days. And so she accumulates, they eat 10% of their body weight daily, but they'll lose a third of that when they use the restroom. And so she's pretty heavy right now, so she's probably getting close. And when she does potty, she is super clingy and feels like a lightweight. But their metabolism is so slow that it takes up to 30 days to digest one leaf of spinach. What are you doing with your slothy?
But since she's a little more active than a typical sloth, is her metabolism a little faster than a normal one?
It is, and obviously they get a lot more nutrients than a wild sloth.
That
We
makes
offer
sense,
all
yeah.
kinds of vegetables and their leafy greens. And it's a controlled habitat. As opposed to the wild sloths, they live naturally. They're gonna live off the tree branches and the leaves and stuff like that. So that's why they're much slower. Any animal, even with humans, you adapt to your habitat and what you're surrounded by.
Right. That makes sense.
They are very habitual creatures. Routine is very key to them. So, and it's because they can't see. So for safety measures, they like to do the same thing over and over and over and over. Just like being used in the restroom, they'll find a tree and it'll be that tree that they go down every time. Same side, use the restroom, everything. That's our baby kangaroo in the corner. Just hanging out. She just had her bottle. She's hanging out in the pouch.
Now, do they have fur or is this hair?
It's hair.
Okay.
And it's coarse. When they're babies, they're really, really dark brown and it's a lot silkier feeling.
Okay.
But as they mature, we call it sloth hair. It's more porous. And it's designed to be that way so that in the wild, when they're the elements, because they don't move, I mean, they're pretty dormant animals, the sloth moth lives on them. Algae, bacteria has time to grow. And sloths rely on that nutrients through their skin and when they're grooming themselves to get that bacteria so that it helps with their gut health. And so a sloth will go down to the bottom of the tree, and when they use the bathroom, that's when the sloth moth will jump from the sloth to the pile of poop to lay their larvae and everything, and then when the sloth comes back down, it's just a rotating cycle. The new sloths will jump on, and it's crazy, but it's weird how it's designed that way. It does not hurt them at all. They actually need that. And so here, and of course they've adapted to being raised indoors, that they don't rely on it. We do it with their nutrients and stuff and probiotics.
Now, are sloths considered, are they primates, are they apes, or are they?
No, I would say more primate, yeah, not ape. The interesting thing about the mama sloths is when they deliver, they are upside down, and mama sloths will only nurse for about 2 to 6 weeks. And that's all they need to, but the baby sloths are eating foliage within the first 4 days of their life.
Oh, wow.
And so they're with mama pretty much to learn how to be a sloth, like what the dangers, how to use the restroom and stuff like that. A sloth can stay with its mom anywhere from 6 months to 2 years old. She's so curious about everything. So she took care of a lot in the house with our owner. And so she was able to, she just hung around with her while she was doing all of her work with the computer and just stuff at the house. And so she is super curious about things. Yeah, there you go. She just hang on to you. She cuddle with you. And so she's like super clingy.
You clingy baby.
And sloth hair grows opposite than any other animal. It goes from the belly to the back. And that's because they are upside down, so when it rains, the water will pull off of them instead of puddling up on the end, their belly, because they sit in like a droop. What are you doing with your head back like that, silly?
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, oh my gosh, she's full of personality. So when a sloth needs to transport or transfer from one habitat to the next, they prefer to take the water. They're faster swimmers than they are crawlers, and so they prefer to move that way so that they can get across quicker. They do not leisurely swim.
Did not know sloths swim.
Does she like being in the water? Like, you guys like bathing and all or anything like that?
She has had a few baths because she's not familiar with going to the bottom of the tree to use the bathroom.
Okay.
And she loves her hammock. And so when we know that it's potty day, we'll take her. If we can catch it, we'll pick her up immediately, but sometimes we don't catch when she goes potty, then we'll bathe her. She does not like to be doused in water. So we usually I put a towel on me and then we'll do hot rags and just wash her that way. In the wild, no, they would not bathe either. Like I said, they rely on that algae and bacteria to live on them. But they just groom themselves pretty much.
Gotcha.
They're not water drinkers. I mean, they absolutely can drink water, but they don't prefer it. They get all their nutrients and their moisture and fluids from their vegetation that they eat. And of course, just like most things, they love fruit, but we try not to give too much fruit because of the sugar content. We definitely don't want them to get too much sugar because their stomachs are super sensitive as far as with their gut bacteria. So they stress easily, the food they take in, so we just have to be really cautious about that. And the temperatures, they have to stay nice and toasty.
Don't get stressed. Send her on Snapchat. Send her on Snapchat.
Can I take a picture?
Silly.
Send it your story.
And her diet consists mostly of, in the mornings for sure, she eats sweet potato, zucchini, squash, like we fed her as her snack. She's picky, she likes her spinach at nighttime, as opposed to in the morning. She is. And then we also give her brown rice with dog food that we soften and sweet potato mixture.
Yeah, like 10 minutes. Can I call her?
I'll get her to transfer. We'll swap phones here. I'll just sit right here on the counter. I know. Now give me just a second. Give me just a second. There we go. Big ups. Really good. Steady. Yeah. You have a new friend.
Alright.
Yeah.
Hello.
You may want to move your glasses.
Yep. Call.
She doesn't try to wear them for you. You got it?
Yeah.
There we go.
Thank you. Oh. Cool.
Looks like a sleeping baby.
I know. Takes me back. They cling to you. We got 2 little boys, but
Oh yeah, I have 2 daughters.
we're always already talking about that, like coming back with them. They would love this place.
How old are they?
5 and 3.
Oh, cool. Yeah, they definitely would.
Our oldest 5-year-old staying with my parents, and they actually took him to an alpaca farm
Oh, cool.
for the weekend. He loved it. So
That's cool.
He was wrangling the alpacas back.
he made a friend. There was a little one named Apollo.
Oh,
that was
that's
following
cool.
around the whole time.
My daughters are 19 and 18, and they're not animal lovers.
Oh, yeah?
No.
Yeah, that's better.
So they're very isolated animals. They're not social. They can live in groups. That's not a problem at all. They don't mind that at all. But they stay to themselves. Only during mating season do they interact with each other. And they're not mature until about 3 years old.
And they stay with their mom until,
Anywhere from 6 months to 2 years. It just depends. It really depends on their atmosphere and what they're exposed to. Some for safety measures.
wait, you know what, my hand here? You want me to move? Wait. Oh, hey.
She's trying to munch on you.
Are you still hungry?
Stop it.
You shouldn't be that hungry.
I'm just curious.
She is super curious compared to Flash. He could care less about anybody. But then you got Dash is not. He's curious about what's going on, but he's not going to reach out. But now Zoe reaches.
No.
What are you doing, sweet girl? Yeah, you gotta behave.
It's that hand, is that her rule?
It is. It's just her trying to get her way.
Okay.
And this is her food chair. It's what she eats in every morning.
Oh,
And so
okay.
she smells it, and then you're the human, so therefore you should be offering food right now.
I got you.
There's nothing in your cup holder.
Just making sure.
I can give you some more spinach. I don't know if you're
Oh,
gonna eat it
sorry.
though. Don't know that you're gonna eat it. No nibbles.
Where's the hat? There's one
This noise maker. There we go. They're very sensitive to loud noises, and a lot of times when I open that container, it causes a horrible racket. Want some more spinach?
No.
You gonna throw your head back on it? You gonna put your head back on it?
That's not what you want.
That's what Mike needs to be switched.
Yeah. See, that's how picky she is. She'll eat it, but she would rather wait till nighttime. And even when we'll give her spinach and her mixed vegetables and everything, and even a fiber biscuit, but she won't touch it until it's the last thing.
So I'm trying to hold out for something better.
There's nothing in your cup holder,
So
sweet
that's all
girl.
there is, spinach.
So when a sloth has clenched their hands, that's a very relaxed state for a sloth. We would get tired hanging on their branch for that long, but they don't. When they have to open their hands and reach for things, that exerts their muscles and tendons, which is opposite of us.
Okay.
And so that's why they can hang forever, it seems, and it won't wear them out at all. Where are you going?
Trying to get away from me.
Do they move on all fours, like if they're on the ground?
They do.
That's all there is.
You just gonna give hugs?
Oh, my. That's okay. We can get some clothes.
And so their nails are infused into the bone in their arm, and that's what helps with the strength. That's why they're so stout and can hang from anything.
Do you have to like trim their
You
claws or
can
nails
trim
and all?
them if you would like, but the branches are different textures, and so that helps, but we
Okay.
don't. When they're little, they're really pointed.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know if you needed to.
You don't have to, but you can file them down if it gets too pointed, yeah, no. And as they get older, it's more rounded, like Flashes are more rounded, not so pointed. Of course, he's a little over 6 years old.
How long do they usually live?
That's a huge,
Range?
yeah,
Okay.
20 years is what we hear. It has been proven that there's some that's lived more than 40 years. We know a guy that has a couple that are all over 35 years. And so it just depends.
Okay.
A lot of times it's hard for the research on a sloth without it being considered in captivity.
Yeah.
But most things in captivity live longer, or if not
Right.
double what
Yeah.
in the wild. But it's tricky when it comes to a sloth because they have to have certain temperatures, they have to have certain nutrients and
Yeah.
stuff.
Some animals don't do well in captivity.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm glad you do.
She does. They've adapted really
When
well.
I get a chance to meet you. Cause they're native like Thailand, like Southeast Asia.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Costa Rica and stuff like that. So we do have another sloth on the way, we're hoping. soon, so we'll have another baby sloth. That'll give us 4.
How old is the youngest that y'all have?
He is 9 months old now.
Are they all fixed or do you like,
No, they're not.
You don't breed them
We
at
can
all?
get that, we could breed them, but they won't mature till they're 3, so we've got a while. We won't breed with Flash because we don't know his generational history. But now with these, Zoe and Dash and our new one, we know, we have record of his, generation after generation, who the parents are, where they came from and stuff like that.
okay,
So there's not an ounce of wild in that sloth out there.
gotcha. Is that the concern with Flash?
It
Just
is, when
like
you wanna
health
get,
reasons, or-
yeah,
okay,
absolutely, yeah.
gotcha.
So they could, she's almost 2, but then by the time Dash is 3, she's gonna be fine, so.
Where is Flash from?
Flash, we got him from a different breeder. And our breeders are in the States, we don't do out of States.
Awesome, Zoe.
She probably is, no joke. That's what they do. You can sit there for the next 8 hours and she'll lay just like that. I said we should start offering recliners in their rooms.
I know.
Their recliner. And
I don't have any hours, I told you, sorry. Gotta get back to my kids.
yeah, they get jealous with Zoe. I have one that's super clingy. And she's 18 years old. But it's okay.
My boy starts swim lessons this evening, so.
Oh, that's fun.
I'm gonna get back in time.
Yeah. It's good weather for swimming, I can tell you that. Finally. Although they claim the rain's coming again.